Hello. Today I'd like to share some thoughts on neutrality. The practice of neutrality is something I've been working with for quite a while, and I've found in conversations that a lot of times folks don't necessarily understand what I mean when I talk about neutrality as a practice. As I was planning for what next video to do for our wisdom sharing series here, I felt Spirit pushing me to talk about this practice of neutrality because it's very important to embody that in our changing times that we're living in. So what is neutrality? Now, most people think neutrality is about not choosing sides, staying in the middle, not choosing one side or the other, what I call part of the paradigm consciousness that we've been living with for thousands of years. And that's not the kind of neutrality that I speak of as an evolutionary tool for stepping into the new reality, which is the embodiment of unity consciousness. Now, with that unity consciousness perspective, neutrality is an extension of non-judgment, observation, discernment, love, and most of all, acceptance. Now, you might ask, why is it extension of those practices? It's because each of those concepts or practices or hard experiences tend to be more situation perspective, whereas neutrality is kind of an across-the-board embodiment, allowing everything to just be what it is and do what it does. Basically, acceptance of what is. As we become the forerunners, the path pavers, the consciousness embodiers, as we shift from the old dying reality of disempowerment to steady state, we find that the practice of neutrality can be an important part of our embodiment consciousness and our grounding of it. I've talked about neutrality for years because it's a useful state of awareness as we cultivate the practice, especially as a way to handle any kind of an emotional activation. Most of us know our emotions generate charges inside the body. And of course, the emotional charge depends on what's triggered by our very own monkey mind or something in the outside world. The important part of neutrality as a practice is that it's an aspect of self-awareness, where when we are feeling ourselves emotionally charged in some way, we learn to pay attention to what is coming up for us. When we are there, present, paying attention, neutrality comes into play. So what that means is that we have to find our neutrality. So how do we find our neutrality? First, we acknowledge the emotional stimulation. Something's going on here. Then we acknowledge the emotion. What is it? Fear, hurt, guilt, pain, lots of possibilities, right? And then to accept this is it. This is what it is, nothing more. This is what I'm feeling. That's the practice of neutrality. We don't judge our experience or our emotion or our awareness as abnormal or normal or good or bad or right or wrong. It just is what it is. With this experience, we take ourselves out of being charged up and down, emotionally in and out. Now, being neutral does not mean that we have to stop being involved and moving forward. Usually we don't have any choice in whether we're involved in what's happening or not, right? But from the perspective of neutrality, if we were in the middle of a raging river, we are definitely moving. And as with any situation, there are practical things to do while accepting what is. We're in the middle of a raging river. So what do? We keep our heads above water. We make sure we catch our next breath. We look for a way to get out. And my personal favorite, we stay aware and alert. When we practice neutrality, we can feel immediately the changes in our body. Our emotions settle and calm. We are, at that point, connected to the field and grounded. And there becomes a flow in our life that passes understanding. So step into neutrality whenever you can. It is a heart space of total acceptance at all levels. Thanks for listening. Aho.